State hearing for 105-229-513, LAICON, case number is as stated. Today's date is January 6, 2026. Current time is 12:59 p.m. Now contacting County Representative Brande, Cain, McMurray.
Good afternoon. This is Mrs. Cain McMurray with DPSS Appeals and State Hearing Section. How may I help you?
Hello, this is Judge Marc Perel calling regarding the LAICON hearing, 105-229-513. All right, I'm going to go ahead. Are you prepared to proceed with the hearing?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Very good. I'll go ahead and give the claimant a call and we'll go from there. County rep is on hold, contacting claimant now by way of star 67 213 773 5821.
Hello.
Hello, this is Administrative Law Judge Marc Perel calling for LAICON regarding the hearing scheduled for 1 p.m.
Yes, this is me, LAICON.
Very good. So, good afternoon, everyone. This is the state hearing for LAICON, case number 105-229-513. Today's date is January 6, 2026, and the current time is 1:01 p.m. This is a telephone hearing, and I am Administrative Law Judge Marc Perel. I've been appointed by the California Department of Social Services to conduct a fair and impartial hearing for this case. I do not work for Los Angeles County. Present for this hearing, if I could first have the county representatives state her name for the record.
Brande, Cain McMurray.
All right, and now the claimant, if you could please state your name for the record, sir.
LAICON.
All right. And I wanted to confirm the address here. I have you at 1055 North Vignes Street, Los Angeles, California, zip code 90012. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, and if there is an address line too, it is general delivery because I still cannot get a job because of racketeering collusion and pay-to-play racketeering. So I'm still getting mail at general delivery. So if there is an address line too.
All right, I'll make a note there. And then the email I see is leocono89@gmail.com.
Yes.
Okay. And so, Mr. Kono, the county is required to make a copy of the statement of position available to you at least 2 business days before the hearing. In this case, the statement of position is a 7-page document which includes the county's argument, supporting legal regulations, and has 2 attached documents. Did you receive this packet, sir?
Yes, I did.
Okay, very good. So then we'll go over the hearing procedure. For the hearing, each party will have an opportunity to present testimony and other evidence. Each party will have the opportunity to ask questions of the other party. The county will present its case first because it is the county's action in dispute, and after the county has presented its case, the claimant will have the opportunity to ask questions of the county and to present his case. The county may also ask questions of the claimant. Please speak clearly and one at a time to ensure that we have a clear recording of this hearing, and I will not make a decision today. I will issue a written decision after the hearing. My decision will be based on the case file, evidence provided at the hearing, including testimony, documents, and the applicable law. If either party disagrees with the decision, they may request rehearing or appeal the case to Superior Court. The decision cover pages will explain the appeals rights and the appeals process, and each party will have 30 days to request a rehearing and 1 year to file an action in Superior Court. Are there any questions before we proceed?
Yes, I have a question on your last statement about a writ of mandate.
I did not say anything about a writ of mandate. I said each party will have 30 days to request a rehearing and 1 year to file an action in Superior Court, and that is if and that is in response to any decision.
Well, what I meant is, for Superior Court, that's normally a writ of mandate, and there is pay-to-play racketeering going on at California courts.
Okay.
So I prefer, like, if there is a a review, or if there is a writ of prohibition, I would like it to occur in United States courts instead, with a writ of prohibition instead of a writ of mandate in California Supreme Court, because I already had a case S277.
Yeah, sir. That would be, sir. Stop, sir. I get it. We can procedural. That is a. I'm simply explaining the process, and that's something that would come into effect after the decision, and it would take place then. It's not something that it's not a procedure that we need to get into right now. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and swear in the parties, as all testimony will be taken under oath. Please raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm, under penalty of perjury, that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth for this hearing, Ms. Cain McMurray?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Kono?
Yes, I do.
Very good. You can lower your hands and let the record reflect that the claimant and county representative have taken the oath. All right, I'm going to confirm the issue for today's hearing. Mr. Kono, as I understand it, you filed this hearing request because you were disputing the monthly allotment assessed that you were receiving under CalFresh. Is this correct?
I'm saying that there is a standard, there's a utility expense and a shelter expense that has a grand total of over $1,300, and I'm only receiving $221, which is a fraction of the $1,300 per month.
So, sir, you are disputing the monthly allotment then?
Yes.
Okay.
And also, actually, no, I'm mainly disputing the shelter expense and utility expense more than the monthly allotment.
Okay. So you're disputing the calculation that was used to arrive at the monthly allotment.
I would like a California Public Records Information Act and or United States Freedom of Information Act request to find out where the shelter expense is going and where the utility expense is receiving.
That is not part of this process. So it is something that I can only address a county action. So it's my understanding that you're disputing the county's calculation of the shelter and utility expense. Ms. Cain McMurray, is that your understanding of the issue as well?
Well, no, I actually thought it was the CalFresh benefit amount.
Okay.
And so that was what was reviewed, but we can discuss how the utility allowance as well as the shelter allowance.
Okay.
That's fine.
So you're prepared to discuss that? All right. Okay.
Yes, that's okay.
Very good. So then we'll go ahead then and I'm going to go ahead and mark and enter the following exhibits into evidence, starting with the county statement of position and attachments as county's Exhibit 1, and the claimant's hearing request summary as claimant's Exhibit A. Those having been marked, we'll go ahead and proceed to the county's presentation. Ms. Cain McMurray, you may proceed when you're ready.
Okay, thank you. So I had the opportunity to review the CalFresh record with the County of Los Angeles. And their database indicates that the claimant is 59 years old with a household size of 1. The household most recently applied for CalFresh on November 20th of 2019, and the household was assigned to semi-annual reporting SAR Cycle 5 with submit months in April and October. The household annual redetermination was completed in October of 2025, and the county approved the claimant's recertification application on October 7, 2025. The county determined the household was eligible to receive $298 per month effective November 1st, 2025. And from my review of the details of the case, there is no earned income known to the case record. The claimant received general relief assistance in the amount of $221 per month. So the unearned income was included in the CalFresh calculation, and the household was granted the standard deduction for CalFresh. In addition to that, there is no shelter expense known to the case record. I believe there's a homelessness reported. So there is no shelter expense. So the county does have that as 0, as well as there is no reported utility expense reported. However, the household was eligible to receive some deductions regarding the shelter and utility expense, and I believe that's what's causing the confusion. So although the household does not pay a shelter cost, there is an allowable or excess shelter cost that has been determined by the state for the household that has been granted. And that's the same for the utility allowance. The household is eligible for the base SUA allowance, so that's, not any error on the county's part. They're not applying an expense that, was reported by the household. That's not the case. These are just standard deductions that have been included in the CalFresh determination that have been set by the state. So those numbers are preset, and the county did apply those to the utility expense, which you can see on the CalFresh budget on attachment number 1. So it's on that very first notice of action. And so with that being said, I did also calculate the CalFresh calculations myself, and it determined that the county correctly determined the allotment of $298 effective November 1st, 2025 for the household. And so if there are any additional questions, then I can do my best to try to answer those at this time.
Okay, may I speak now?
If you have questions, do you have any questions for the county representative?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You may ask your questions to the county representative.
Why is it that when Rodney Williams was the DPSS worker along with Janelle Carrera,
sir,
she showed me. This is a question.
If you ask a question that is relevant to this claim.
I really, you know what? I cannot handle it. You keep cutting me off. I'm trying to speak a question, and you cut me off. I would like to reschedule this hearing with a different administrative law judge. I can't even get a word in edgewise.
Go ahead and proceed with your question, sir.
Okay. What I'm saying is that Rodney Williams was the DPSS worker along with Janelle Carrera, and they showed me utility expense and shelter expense that was variable. It was $0, and then it was $10, and then it was $20, and it seems like now that I've requested the assistance of the Oversight Committee in Congress, including Chairman Senator Chuck Grassley, it seems like now you're sugarcoating it, and you've added $1,300 in shelter expense and utility expense that was not there in the last 5 years, and all of a sudden it magically appears. You're sugarcoating it. So my question is, this shelter expense and utility expense, who is it paid to? Who's receiving this money?
Your Honor, these standard deductions are not paid to anyone at all. This is just information that is used to calculate your eligibility to CalFresh. And with the information that the county receives from yourself, as well as the standard deductions that are allowable by the state, it has been concluded that you're eligible for the maximum benefit amount for CalFresh for a household size of 1, and that's the amount of $298 effective November 1st.
I would like to rephrase the question to be more specific. This is the question, okay? So between 2019 and 2024, there was no $1,300. Why is it that in the year 2025, a grand total of $1,300 appears, and in 2019, 2021, 22, 2023, this $1,300 was non-existent? Why is that?
So
the county does not have any comment on anything from 2019 or 2014. This matter
because I would like to conduct forensic accounting on your general ledger based on my file number. In addition to that, there's also Medi-Cal and Medicaid with different case numbers, and I visited Metro North, and there are 6 fraudulent family members, including Christina Hajar, who's committing embezzlement of my medical insurance.
Again, we need to keep it focused on the issue. We need to keep this focused on the issue
and Christina
before us. I want to stress that any sort of fraudulent investigation is not part of this process and is not something that can be addressed here. We're looking purely at this calculation here. And so it is my understanding, Ms. Cain McMurray, that this utility expense and what's listed here as the allowable shelter deduction is just listed there. Let me actually clarify my statement, my question for you, Ms. McMurray. Ms. Cain McMurray, the allowable shelter deduction listed on the notice of action is just listing the theoretical maximum that would be permitted. Is that as a shelter deduction? Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and so
I have another question that I would like to ask.
I'm asking my questions now, sir. And so the utility expense that's calculated there, that the $663, do you know where the county got that information from?
That is just a SUA-based SUA. So the claimant is not eligible for the standard utility allowance because he doesn't pay any utility expenses. Okay. But he was determined eligible for the SUA.
Okay. And so it is also my understanding that I'm looking here that there is no income reported for the claimant and that these deductions here are listed merely because the claimant is eligible for them. But would it be correct to say that the claimant would still be eligible for the maximum CalFresh allotment of $298 even if these particular deductions did not apply?
That is correct.
Okay. So ultimately the utility expense, the allowable shelter deduction, and the are ultimately moot as far as the calculation of the CalFresh allotment. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, and these are not things that are paid to anyone. They are simply just a record of expenses that could be used in a calculation.
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you. That's the information that I need there. Mr. Kono, so it is my understanding that so can you tell me what exactly is it, what adverse action the county has taken that you're disputing today?
Can I ask an additional question first instead of the conclusion?
What is your question, sir?
Okay, my question is that way back in 2019, 2020...
Sir, let's not, we're focusing on the allotment. And I'm not going back to 2019 or 2020.
You will not allow me to ask the question. You cut me off after 3 words.
I'm keeping this relevant to the issue at hand.
You know what? I'm gonna follow writ of prohibition, and Mr. Perel, I'm gonna add you to the defendants list because you won't even allow me to speak. So I want to see you in the United States Supreme Court.
Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. So my question is that I was working at City National Bank, and I was staying at 7400 Center Avenue, apartment 477. Huntington Beach, California, 92647. I was paying $2,600 rent, and I was taking a 710 express bus to City National Bank. I went to the DPSS in Garden Grove, Orange County, California. I was receiving $580-something in CalFresh. Now all of a sudden I'm receiving $298 8 years later, and even additionally to that, there's fraudulent family members because when I spoke to Janelle Carrera, she told me that Janelle Carrera got murdered. And Janelle Carrera told me that you're not receiving the real CalFresh because there are 2 databases, LRS and CalSource. And she's like, the money that you're receiving from CalFresh is just money that's coming out of an operating fund. And the real CalFresh is going to Angela Balacco and Zio Balacco and Julie up the here and Julie Zergarayan at Faith Tabernacle Church, wonderful, who have been recently convicted for the 4.7 trillion food for met that Elon Musk is talking about. So the real CalFresh is being embezzlement and stolen by the Balacco family. And there's also Medicaid fraud going on with Dr. David Bartoloma and Glendale Telehealth.
What is your question?
So what I'm saying is that my question is that why is it that I was receiving $580-something in Garden Grove, and when I transferred over with Olga Miranda to Los Angeles County, it got cut to $298. It was actually less than that. And why is it that Janelle Carrera told me that the $298 is not coming from CalFresh, it's coming from an operating fund, and it's fraud?
So one question at a time. So you're asking why it was reduced. Is that correct?
I'm asking if the $298 is a true CalFresh or if it's coming out of an operating fund. That is my question. Because I know for a fact that there's an Angela Balacco, who's my cousin, with Jill Balacco, my aunt, and she told me that they're using my CalFresh and they go over to the meat restaurant and they're getting filet mignon on my dime.
All right. Ms. Cain McMurray, is there anyone else in the claimant's CalFresh household that has access to his CalFresh benefits?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so the $298 is allotment is solely for the claimant, Mr. Liacono?
That is correct.
Okay.
So, another question: why is it that when I log into benefitscal.com, there are two case numbers, L0D23E2, and if you give me a second, I took a screenshot. There's also a different case number that doesn't belong to me. Who does this case number belong to? With Christina Ajar committing a Medicaid fraud with Kaiser Permanente, and Angela and Gio Balacco stealing my CalFresh for the meat restaurant. There is a different case number. It's not L0D23. There is a different case number that belongs to fraudulent family members that are actually receiving my CalFresh, and I'm receiving money from an operating fund. It is not a true CalFresh.
Sir, we need to keep this focused on the issue at hand. If you have any questions about the procedure for Benefits Cal or your case, you can contact the county directly to ask those sorts of questions. But for this hearing, it is for me to determine whether or not that there has been or for me to review any sort of county action or inaction. So I'm going to go ahead.
May I make a suggestion, please?
No, we're going to move on. Do you have any...
Well, this is important. I really insist on this suggestion, okay? I have the file number, and I would like for you to go to the general ledger and do a retrieval based on the file number.
We're keeping this focused on the issue for this hearing, so I'm not going to do any additional errands or any investigations beyond the scope of this hearing. What I need to do to make a decision on this particular issue. So...
Okay, well, you know what? You do what you have to do, but I'm giving you disclosure that I'm working with the Oversight Committee in Congress and Senator Chuck Grassley, the chairman, and I'm giving you disclosure that I have a case 17671-24 that's going to United States courts, and I may or may not add you to the defendants list, and you will appear as a witness, and you will have to testify how you gave me the runaround, and you're basically collecting money to be an administrative law, and this entire appeal hearing is fraud.
Sir. Tell me what action it is that you're disputing, because it's your time. It's your time to get.
$298 is not CalFresh. It's coming out of an operating fund because Janelle Carrera told me so, and they murdered her.
Okay, understood. Thank you for your testimony, sir. Ms. Cain McMurray, do you have any questions for the claimant based off of his testimony?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So then, with that, the issue that I will be evaluating will be that I'll be reviewing the claimant's monthly CalFresh allotment, as well as the county's calculation, including the shelter and utility expenses that were applied. And so with, I will also note that the claimant raised concerns relating to fraud perpetuated by a number of government entities, and I will make a note of that in my decision. So, with that, Ms. Cain McMurray, do you have any questions or anything else that you would like to present?
No, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Kono, before we conclude, was there did you have any final questions? Yes.
Look at the source of the money going into the $298 per month. This money is coming from an operating fund.
Okay.
Look at the deposits. Look at the bank deposits with the account number and the routing number,
Okay.
the inflows and the outflows. Look to see what is the source of the deposit. It's not coming from CalFresh. It's coming from an operating fund. Look at the source of the deposit. Investigate the bank deposit into my CalFresh monthly allotment. Look at the source to see where it's coming from.
Okay.
It's not coming from CalFresh.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I'm going to go. Thank you all for participating in this hearing. I'll now be closing the record as of 1:25 p.m.